Chapter 51. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Toyosaki Academy, Class B, 2nd grade. Alright, students, this next part is key. While the teacher was busy at the blackboard, Nangong Yan slipped in through the back door. Some classmates gave him weird looks, and even Megumi Kato raised a questioning eyebrow, but he just went to his seat and waved, signaling he'd explain later. At lunch, after a grilling from the homeroom teacher, he finally joined the three girls where they were eating. They all looked at him like, "We're waiting for an explanation," but he just pulled out the bread he'd bought on the way back and started munching. Their expressions got even stranger. Finally, Eruri blurted out, "Where's your lunch?" Nangong Yan took a swig of water, swallowed his bite, and stopped teasing them. "After I dropped it off, something weird happened to Mashiro on the way back, so I gave it away." "Weird?" Yutaha Kasumigakaka arched an eyebrow. "Let me guess, you were walking down a deserted alley and a beautiful, starving ghost woman appeared. You couldn't stand her hunger, so you gave her your lunch, and then she wanted to thank you. You fended her off for a while before finally escaping back. Is that weird enough?" That everyone just stared. It was almost like she'd been there, except for the ghost part. Nangong Yan was sweating bullets. She's a novelist for a reason, he thought. Asterisk, she just tosses that out like she saw it herself. Who's leaking information? Eruri scoffed, "You have some imagination. But then again, he is a popular novelist. He thinks different. I bet a gloomy girl like you could get into art school on reputation alone." "No, Eruri, don't go there," Nangong Yan internally screamed. "Oh. What's wrong, Eruri?" "I was just riffing on Yenkuin's story. Maybe it'll spark a new idea. Besides, I can't draw or play music. The art department wouldn't want me. I'm just wondering why Yenkuin was late." She then changed her tone. "But Eruri just wants to send people to the hospital, or maybe he just got lost playing around on the road of life." "Huh?" Eruri looked a little stunned, like Yutaha had actually hit a nerve, but she stubbornly retorted, Who said that? Maybe he just remembered he forgot his fat suit and had to go home and change." Nangong Yan's head was swimming in black lines. "If you lose an argument, don't drag me down with you." He braced himself for Yutaha to keep hammering Eruri, but something was off with her expression. Why did she look so accepting? That actually makes sense. No way, Eruri was giving her a weird look, too. Yutaha hadn't jumped on her weakness to kick her while she was down. It was making her uncomfortable. Wait a minute, Eruri. How could you even think that? Eruri shuddered and banished the thought. "So, Yenkuin, who guessed right?" Yutaha asked him with a sly grin. That's when everyone understood, Yutaha hadn't changed. She was just more annoyed with Nangong Yan. She'd seen his reaction to her guess and, for some reason, Eruri's tirade had made her happy. So, instead of refuting Eruri directly, she just poured gasoline on the fire. Nangong Yan sighed inwardly. "You can't underestimate anyone. I dropped Mashiro off with her cousin, Chihiro-sensei, this morning," Nangong Yan began. "The trouble started when I ran into a plot straight out of a manga. Let me guess, he bumped into a girl holding a piece of toast and yelling, 'I'm late. I'm late.'" Eruri interrupted. Nangong Yan held up his hands. "Let me finish. You're partly right. They did bump into each other, but she wasn't holding toast." "Of course not. If she was holding toast, she wouldn't need a lunch," Yutaha chimed in. Nangong Yan was speechless. You guys already know the story, why are you even asking? She almost knocked me flat. I saw stars. So, is that girl moving here tomorrow, Flame Lord? Megumi asked, cutting to the chase. This was the important part. Another girl was on her way. Yutaha and Eruri stared at him until he started to squirm. Then, he sighed. Yeah, there seemed to be more and more girls around him. Well, did you expect me to take care of Mashiro myself? Nangong Yan countered. Absolutely not. Erori shouted. But you can leave it to Megumi. Megumi needs to study too. She's focusing on screenwriting, so we can't pile everything on her. Erori couldn't argue with that. Finally, Nangong Yan said, besides, a girl who works that hard deserves a break. Anyone with the ability would help, right? Especially since she's one of us now. I've already cast her as Mitsuha's voice. Yutaha rolled her eyes. Sure. You're such a saint. I'm just amazed you could size up her situation in just one morning. What, are you psychic, Nangong? Nangong Yan scratched the back of his head. Haha. It's simple. You might not think so, but I've been there. It just takes some analysis. Even Megumi gave him a knowing look, but no one pressed the issue. They just let it go. You'll understand when you meet her. I want to help her, but my hands are tied. You'll see her shining points, too. As soon as Nangong Yan finished, the lunch bell rang. The three girls were left in thought as they all headed back to class. After school, Nangong Yan and the others went to pick up Mashiro. On the way to Suko, Nangong Yan made a call. Hello. Moving company. I'd like to schedule a move for tomorrow afternoon to the student dorms at Suko. Yes, please send a truck. 4 p.m. The name's Nangong. I'll be there early. Great, see you then. As he hung up, a soft voice came from behind. Yen-kun, you're so considerate. Nangong Yan shamelessly replied, of course. I'm a great boss. We care about our employees. He then spotted Mashiro and Chihiro-sensei waiting at the school gate. As they approached, Chihiro-sensei draped an arm around Nangong Yan's shoulders and whispered, Nangong, you're a real gem. Nangong Yan looked helpless. The female teacher was teasing him again. He quickly changed the subject. Oh, by the way, Chihiro-sensei, do you know if there's a student here who takes care of a bunch of cats? Chapter 52. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What's that, some kind of urban legend? Chihiro Sengoku asked casually, picking at his ear with his pinky. Sarada Kanda should be in Sakurasu by now, right? Teacher Chihiro wouldn't deliberately hide something so trivial, so, this person doesn't exist. Probably just something I overheard. If Teacher Chihiro doesn't know about it, it's probably nothing. Nangong Yan said, dismissing the thought. No one else was around, so he didn't need to worry about it. Walking over to where the girls were chatting, Nangong Yan asked, Mashiro, how's your first day going? Hamura. Mashiro's expression shifted slightly as she looked at Nangong Yan. Luckily, Chihiro brought Nanami, and she's been a big help. So Nanami's already connected with Mashiro? So, Mashiro, what do you think of Nanami Aoyama? Kasumigakaka Shiyu asked with interest. Good person. The answer was immediate. Chihai never expected to get friend-zoned by Mashiro so quickly. Nangong Yan chuckled to himself. Seems like Mashiro has a good impression of Nanami. Nangong Yan said, and Mashiro nodded. I figured you two would hit it off. How about we let Nanami take care of you from now on? Nangong Yan asked with a smile. Mashiro tilted her head, confused. Won't Yan take care of me? It's my first time with a boy. A stunned silence fell over everyone as Nangong Yan felt a cold sweat break out. His clothes were practically soaked. Kasumigakaka Shiyu finally spoke, and Nangong Yan could hear the dark undercurrent in her words. Oh. So that's how it is. You two have that kind of relationship. I see. I see. It's great that Hamura is my first partner. Wait, Mashiro, please stop pouring gasoline on this fire. You're Mashiro, not some scheming villain, right? The tension in the air grew, and he felt everyone's eyes on him like needles. He quickly interjected, hold on. Don't get the wrong idea. You guys know what happened, right? At least Erori knows. Ah, the pressure eased a bit. Nangong Yan sighed in relief. Right, Erori. You know what's going on. You're the one who called Mashiro this morning. Erori opened her mouth to speak, but Mashiro beat her to it. In England, I was always around girls, and Hamura is the first boy I've been close to. You were the one who said that. Nangong Yan groaned weakly. After Mashiro's statement, the atmosphere shifted again, becoming even more awkward. Ah ha 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 ha. Chihiro Qinshuan burst into wild laughter, slapping Nangong Yan on the back like a maniac. The laughter helped break the tension. Kato Megumi stepped forward and said, I'm sorry, Hamura-kun. We should have trusted you. We all know Mashiro-chan lacks common sense, but we still jumped to conclusions when she said that. Touched, Nangong Yan took Kato Megumi's hand and said, Megumi. It's great to have you here. But really, it's not your fault. Anyone would misunderstand Mashiro after that. Erori and Shiyu watched with envy, but neither interrupted him. They figured it was payback for his earlier lack of faith. Huh. Mashiro looked at the interaction between everyone and tilted her head in confusion. Getting back on track, Nangong Yan carefully chose his words. Mashiro, it's not that we don't want to take care of you, I really do, but the glares I'm getting are intense. But we all have things to do, and I invited you to join the club, so you understand, right? Besides, you'll definitely get along great with Nanami. Nangong Yan gave Mashiro a thumbs up. Mashiro was silent for a moment, looked at Nangong Yan's smile, raised her hand, and gave a thumbs up in return. All right. Let's head home. He cheerfully bid farewell to Chihiro Qinshuan. Goodbye, Teacher Qinshuan. Chihiro Qinshuan smiled mischievously. Okay, take care. Nangong Yan felt a sharp pain between his legs and muttered to himself, is this teacher trying to corrupt her students? Ahem. Well, Yen-kun, shouldn't you let go of her hand? Kasumigakaka Shiyu said pointedly. She'd put up with it for a while. How much longer? Pretending to be oblivious, Nangong Yan, who was still holding Kato Kei's hand, said, Ah. Shiyu-senpai, what did you say? Erori marched forward and forcibly separated their hands. Ah. There's a mosquito. Nangong Yan's face turned dark. Mosquitoes in April. Kato Megumi rubbed the back of her reddened hand, and Nangong Yan felt a surge of anger. Was it just his imagination? As they walked, Mashiro suddenly stopped. Everyone followed her gaze and saw a convenience store. Nangong Yan suggested, let's go in and grab something. No one objected. They crossed the street together and bumped into Aoyama Nanami, who was just leaving the store. Nangong Yan greeted her, Yo. What a coincidence, Nanami. You work here part-time? Nanami, her head down, heard the familiar voice, looked up, and stared in stunned silence at Nangong Yan and the gorgeous women around him. Nangong Yan, seeing Nanami's bewildered expression, said, Nanami, let me introduce you. Turning to Shiyu, Erori, and Kei, he said, this is Aoyama Nanami, our first voice actress from another dimension. Hello, I'm Aoyama Nanami. Nanami was flustered, unsure of what to do with so much attention on her. Oh. This is the Aoyama Nanami you worked so hard to recruit. Kasumigakaka Shiyu said, surprised. She hadn't expected to meet her like this. She carefully studied the girl in front of her. Effort, all the effort. Nanami waved her hands in a panic, then covered her face. What a cute reaction. Kasumigakaka Shiyu teased. Does Lord Yen have a weakness for this? Weakness. Nanami thought to herself, I'm about to faint. Why am I so flustered? Does Yen-kun really like me? No. I can't think like that. Nanami, I'm getting ahead of myself. Seeing Kasumigakaka Shiyu about to tease her further, Nangong Yan intervened. Ahem. Well, Nanami, this is Kasumigakaka Shiyu, our scriptwriter from another dimension. She's also the author of the popular novel, Metronome of Love, Kasumi Yutako-sensei. Kasumigakaka Shiyu nodded slightly. Hello, I'm Shiyu Kasumigakaka. Nice to meet you. You're such an amazing person. Nanami said in surprise. The pleasure is all mine. It's an honor to meet you, Kasumi Yutako-sensei. Just call me Shiyu. After saying that, Nanami looked a little unnatural and said, of course, if you're not comfortable with that, you can call me senpai, like Yen-kun. I'm a third-year student. Don't be so nervous. They're all really nice. Nangong Yan reassured Chihai and praised the girls. Yes, sure, Shiyu-senpai. Nanami settled on the same name Nangong Yan used. Nangong Yan continued the introductions. This is Sawamura Spencer Aery, the character designer and original artist for Another Dimension. Aha. We'll tell you all the details after you move here. Aery nodded with satisfaction. Chapter 53. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Nanami sensed something strange in the air. Was this another VIP about to appear? Hey, we're probably the same age, so call me Iriri. You can just call me Nanami, no need to be formal, Iriri said, friendly and confident. Nanami felt a little less tense. Okay, Iriri. Nangong Yan turned to Kato Megumi. This is Kato Megumi. She's helping out with things. Kasumigakaka Shiyu and Iriri both looked annoyed, but they didn't say anything. It was true, after all. Megumi's also specializing in scripting, and she'll be one of our top players in no time. Nangong Yan paused, looking at Chihai. Chihai, what's with the face? You look shocked. He waved a hand in front of Nanami's eyes. That seemed to snap her out of it. Whoa. Oh, geez. I'm so sorry. I didn't even see you there. Kaketo-san. So, she was another one who fell victim to Megumi's low-key presence. Don't worry about it. I'm used to it, Kato Megumi said, waving it off. Just call me Megumi. We're the same age. Got it. Megumi. I understand. Megumi. Won't happen again. Megumi. Nanami kept repeating Megumi's name, as if afraid of overlooking her again, Kato Megumi. Nangong Yan added, a little wistfully, actually, Chihai, besides making games, we're working on another big project. What's that? Nanami, Iriri, Shiwa, and Megumi asked simultaneously. Mashiro, meanwhile, was glued to the convenience store window, staring intently at the bonkachin. Huh? You guys don't know? Nangong Yan asked, looking at the three women, except for Nanami and Mashiro. How would we? You haven't said anything. Iriri snapped. Nangong Yan clapped his hands together. Okay, I'll tell you. It's all about how to make Kei stand out. Kasumigakaka Shiyu, that's a tough one. Iriri, yeah, she's got no character at all. Huh? Are you already giving up? There was progress. Kato Megumi's tone showed it. Nangong Yan said, moved. Looks like we need to communicate more. Thanks to the power of complaining, Huey's already made progress. Hamura, could you not say such embarrassing things? Kato Megumi said calmly. The earlier reaction was definitely fleeting. Well, I thought you might complain some more. Nangong Yan admitted. Kato Megumi looked a little troubled. Is that so? I'll try my best then. We'll leave it at that for now. One day, Kei's presence will be overwhelming. Nangong Yan declared, ignoring the "oh, please" looks from Shiryu and Ing Lily. Nangong Yan turned to Chihai. You already know Mashiro, so no need for introductions. Nanami nodded, looking at Mashiro, who was leaning against the glass. Yeah, Shina-san and I are already acquainted. Truth. Huh. Call me Mashiro, Nanami, Mashiro said simply. Nanami beamed. Okay. Truth. Then, Mashiro went back to staring at the Bonkachin, Nangong Yan. This was awkward. Nangong Yan quickly ushered everyone into the convenience store, then said goodbye to Chihai. See you tomorrow, Chihai. I'll pick you up at 4 after school. Chihai watched them go, a mix of emotions swirling within her. Could she really fit in with such a high-powered group? She chuckled to herself, but her resolve firmed. Having such talented people around was both intimidating and motivating. Besides, she'd already made a promise to Yen. Thinking of Nangong Yan's invitation, Chihai's face flushed again. Stop it. Don't think about it. But I'll have to work harder. So, what do you guys think of Nanami? Nangong Yan asked. He was curious about their first impressions of Chihai. I like her. She seems serious, Aaron said first. Kasumigakaka Shiyu pondered for a moment. She makes a good impression. She seems caring, and her voice is nice. You all have nice voices. Can you do voice acting, though? Secretly grumbling, Nangong Yan was a bit surprised. He hadn't expected Senior Shiyu to like Nanami, especially since she seemed to have a bone to pick with her at school. Misunderstood, she does have a bone to pick with Chihai, but it's you she's got a problem with, Nangong Yan. Well, I have no objections at all, Hamura. I'm actually looking forward to Nanami joining us. You really are a saint, Hui. What about Mashiro? Nangong Yan looked at Mashiro, who was about to rip into the Bonkachin packaging. He stopped her. Mashiro, you have to pay for it first. You can't just grab it and eat it. Yeah. Yeah. Nangong Yan nodded emphatically. Okay, I got it now. She started to put the Bonkachin back, looking so pitiful it made Nangong Yan's heart clench. He quickly stopped her. Okay, I'll pay, but you can eat it after we pay. Okay. Mashiro blinked, then nodded. Yeah. Nangong Yan grabbed a bunch of them, about a dozen. After paying, he handed one to Mashiro. Eat a little at a time. We still have to eat dinner. Save the rest for later. Mashiro immediately stuffed her mouth, crumbs flying everywhere. Nangong Yan pulled out a handkerchief to wipe her face. She paused, mid-chew, and said to Nangong Yan, thank you. Yan is like Rita. Who's Rita? Lily asked, fixing Nangong Yan with a suspicious stare, but directing the question at Mashiro. Friend. With that, Mashiro went back to eating, still making a mess. Nangong Yan was about to wipe her face again, when Lily snatched the handkerchief. Good job, Sawamura. Kasumigakaka Shiyu said, surprisingly, praising Lily. Lily retorted, You don't have to tell me. Nangong Yan. Really? You could smear your face with crumbs too, and I'd clean it up for you. Looking at Iriri, who was wiping Mashiro's face, and Shiyu, who was standing by, he kept the thought to himself, even if Nanami hadn't offered to look after Mashiro, they'd definitely keep a close eye on her. All he said was, let's go. As they left the convenience store, they were surprised to see Chihai still standing there. Nangong Yan was about to ask what was up when she rushed forward and shoved something into his hand. Hamura, thanks again for the bento. With that, she pulled a disappearing act, just like Nangong Yan had that morning. Nangong Yan looked down. It was his lunchbox. Kasumigakaka Shiyu came closer and asked, how does that make you feel? Nangong Yan grinned. Awesome. I don't need to get a new lunchbox tomorrow. Xia Jichio Shiyu. Chapter 54. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What's with the mood swings? And what other kinds of moods is she trying to create, knowing we can't do any indirect kissing? Kasumigakaka Shiyu is totally doing this on purpose. We can't let her win. He ignored the whole conversation and told everyone it was time to head home. Kasumigakaka Shiyu sighed. Henkoen really is different from Sawamura-san. What's that supposed to mean? Erori snapped, annoyed, it's because Yanjun wouldn't let you push her around like you do with Erori, Kato Megumi thought to herself. Oh, nothing. Just that you're different genders, Kasumigakaka Shiyu said with a laugh, surprisingly not adding any extra sting. Huh? Are you just talking crazy? Erori didn't buy it. There was definitely something behind the dark woman's words. Who knows? Maybe I'm just tired and not thinking straight, Kasumigakaka Shiyu mumbled, sounding like she actually didn't want to start a fight this time. Erori just pursed her lips and stayed quiet. Weird, Mashiro thought, munching on her bonkachin. Everyone went their separate ways, each lost in their own thoughts. We're home. Ha! Nangong Yan laughed, scooping up the little girl who ran to greet him. Welcome back, brother. Surprisingly, Sajiri had actually come to welcome him. With Yang perched on his shoulders, Nangong Yan reached out and ruffled Sajiri's hair. I'm back, Sajiri. You've been working so hard. You're making progress every single day. I'm so proud of you. Sajiri's face flushed under her brother's touch. As she secretly enjoyed the praise, Erori came over and pinched Sajiri's cheek. Just your brother? What about us? Sajiri wriggled free from Erori's grip, rubbed her face, and grumbled, fine. Welcome. Everyone else froze, except for Mashiro. Welcome? Was she implying? Are we just guests? Is she claiming ownership? After a quick exchange of glances, they silently formed a pact. An offensive and defensive alliance. We can't let this little girl take over. If Sajiri knew what they were thinking, would she regret it? Nangong Yan cuddled Yang close, giving her a long squeeze. Then he set her down. The girls each took a turn petting her. Yang watched Nangong Yan as he sorted through things, gave him a once-over, then finally jumped onto Kato Megumi's lap and settled down. Erori said enviously, figures, besides Nangong and Sajiri, Megumi's the only one. Xiaoyang, let's get so close. Kato Megumi quietly stroked Yang, smoothing her fur. Yang stretched comfortably. Meow, so comfy. Seeing the girl and the cat, Erori couldn't take it anymore. It was always Nangong. Why did Xiaoyang like Megumi so much? She ran to Nangong Yan's room, grabbed the cat teaser, and came back to get Yang's attention. Success. Cats can't resist chasing anything that dangles in front of them. And just like that, Erori and Yang started playing happily. Then Kasumigakaka Shiyu took over, and after her Mashiro, and then Erori again. It was the first time they'd all played with Yang for so long, and they were all a little giddy. Nangong Yan shook his head with amusement and could only sigh. The little guy was just too lovable. While they were playing, the doorbell rang. Nangong Yan went to answer it. He walked to the entryway and turned on the video doorbell. A cute girl with hair almost the same color as Nanami's and about the same age as Sajiri appeared on the screen. It was her. Nangong Yan recognized her instantly, and the cute girl said, "Hello, I'm Kamino Megumi. Is Sajiri-chan home?" "Hold on," Nangong Yan said, cutting the video doorbell and went to open the door for her. "I'm Sajiri-chan's classmate," the girl said sweetly. Nangong Yan smiled. "This is the first time Sajiri's classmate has come over." "Yep. I'm the class representative." The girl stepped forward, walking right up to Nangong Yan, and said from a distance that was almost too close, "Speaking of which, are you Sajiri-chan's older brother?" "Yeah, what's up?" Kamino Megumi's tone suddenly changed. "But you two aren't blood-related, right? Then living alone with my sister, that's okay, isn't it? What kind of relationship could it have?" Nangong Yan pretended to be confused. "Classmate Kamino, right? Just call me Hui." Kamino Megumi said generously. "But I already know a Hui, what should I do?" Nangong Yan asked, smiling playfully. Kamino Hui's eyes twitched and she said, slightly unnaturally, "Then, just call me Xiao Hui." "Okay, so, Xiao Hui, what brings you to my house?" Nangong Yan suppressed a smile. It was fun to mess with her a little, but, she was probably planning a counterattack, right? How strange, shouldn't every boy fall in love with me at first sight, she muttered to herself, just loud enough for Nangong Yan to hear, and immediately asked before Nangong Yan could react, is it possible this big brother likes boys? How could I? Nangong Yan shook his head and laughed. I didn't realize such a little thing like you could be so narcissistic. How could I fall in love with you at first sight? Kamino Megumi puffed out her cheeks and glared at him unhappily, he actually didn't react to me. My brother's penis must have failed, girl, if you can say that without batting an eye, you definitely have some thick skin. For a little girl like you sure are comfortable saying, ding ding, Nangong Yan chuckled. What's wrong? Megumi Kamino pretended to be confused. I like ding ding the best. Oh. You like it the best? Nangong Yan grinned suggestively. That's right. Girls my age all love ding ding the most. After saying that, she glanced at his crotch like a peeping cat. Ha ha ha. Nangong Yan burst out laughing. Ha. Kamino Megumi quickly stepped back. What was wrong? It was so scary. Little girl, Nangong Yan beckoned. Follow me. After Nangong Yan said that, he turned and walked into the house. Kamino Megumi swallowed hard and started debating whether she should follow or not. Is he going to show me his penis? No. I'm kidding. No one but my brother has ever seen my brother's penis. What about leaving? As soon as she had the thought, she immediately rejected it. No. I came here to get Sajiri-chan to go to school and become my friend. I can't chicken out now, but, is it really okay? What if, today, I lose my virginity? She was so conflicted, should she go in or not? Two thoughts were battling in her mind. Kamino Megumi suddenly wished she hadn't come over today. Otherwise, none of this would be happening. Hello. Ha. Kamino Megumi jumped. Are you coming in or not? Nangong Yan asked. He didn't believe he could scare this little girl away. She might act the part of a coward, but when it comes down to it, she will get the job done. Sure enough, he saw Kamino Megumi clenching her fists, as if trying to encourage herself. Come on, you can do it. You're a cute little hui, no problem. Secretly cheering herself up, Kamino Megumi boldly stepped into Nangong's house. Chapter 55. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing Nangong Yan walk in with that goofy grin, the girls were totally confused. He was practically cackling, and they were dying to know what was up. Nangong Yan winked, trying to signal them to play along, but they were clueless. Then Megumi Kamino wandered in and stopped dead in her tracks, staring at the room full of women. What's going on? She asked cautiously. Brother, are these your buddies? Nangong Yan almost choked. Police. What kind of logic was that? Was she doing this on purpose? Cough, cough, cough. Except for Mashiro, the girls started coughing. This girl was something else, all right. After the initial shock wore off, they all burst out laughing. It was rare to see Nangong Yan so flustered, especially Irie. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that was Irie. Yang wasn't fazed by Irie's laughter anymore. She just looked up, gave everyone a confused glance, and then snuggled up comfortably against Kato Megumi's chest and legs. Kamino Megumi, still trying to figure things out, saw everyone's reactions and tentatively asked, could it be your harem, big brother? Pooh. Ha 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 ha. This time, Nangong Yan lost it, cracking up. He loved the girl. Those words really hit the spot. Then it was the girl's turn to stare at Kamino K, their faces twitching. She squirmed, feeling uncomfortable under their gaze, and edged towards the wall. Kasumiga Kakashiyu, wearing a tight-lipped smile, asked Nangong Yan, Yen-kun, had your fun? Ha ha ha. Nangong Yan straightened his face, trying to look serious. What are you talking about? I'm perfectly fine. This time, Kasumigakaka Shiyu was speechless. When did he get such thick skin? Kamino Megumi just looked back and forth between Nangong Yan and the girls, completely lost. Ahem. Clearing his throat, Nangong Yan announced, "Let me introduce you. This is Kamino Megumi, Sajiri's class representative. She's here today too." "Wait, what are you here for?" Nangong Yan suddenly realized that Kamino Megumi wanted to take control, and he completely forgot to ask why she showed up. Even if he knew, he couldn't just blurt it out, right? "Oh, right. I came to ask Sajiri to go to school," Kamino Megumi said, snapping out of it. "Speaking of which, where is Sajiri?" Nangong Yan realized she wasn't around. Did the little shut-in retreat back to her room again? "Back in her room," Erori replied flatly. "There you have it. And let me tell you, it's not easy to get Sajiri to do anything, let alone go to school," Nangong Yan said to Kamino K. "So, do you still want to see her?" Kamino K perked up, nodding eagerly. "Of course. I love making friends. I practically knew everyone in my grade when school started. I just realized I haven't made friends with Sajiri-chan yet, and the thought of taking her to school is so exciting, wow, she's a bit pushy, everyone thought in unison. "Whoa, hold on a sec," Nangong Yan interrupted. "Let me be clear, Sajiri hates being forced to do things. If that's your only angle, you might as well head home now." Kamino Megumi went silent. She realized that trying to force Sajiri to do something she didn't want to would just annoy her, not make her a friend. After a moment, she looked up at Nangong Yan and said firmly, "I still want to be friends with Sajiri-chan, but I won't force her." "Big brother, can I meet her?" Nangong Yan grinned. "I'm all for it, but it's up to Sajiri." "I'll ask." He turned to the girls. "Everyone, keep her entertained for a bit." Then, he went off to plant some evil ideas in Sajiri's head. The girls just stared after him. "Well, he never finished the introductions, so we'll have to do it ourselves," Kato Megumi said, setting Yang on the sofa and walking over. "Hi, I'm Kato Megumi." "Hello." "Oh. So you're the other Megumi that Big Brother mentioned." Kamino Megumi didn't seem to think Kato Megumi lacked presence. Maybe everyone's reactions earlier were so exaggerated that it was impossible to ignore her. "Another Megumi?" Kato Megumi asked, a little confused. "When I introduced myself at the door, I asked Big Brother to call me Megumi, but he said he knew another Megumi, so I had to ask him to call me Xiao Hui." Kamino Megumi said, sounding a little annoyed. Kato Megumi was touched. She knew Nangong Yan had always been good to her, but she didn't realize just how much until this other Megumi showed up. Nangong Yan clearly valued her, Kato Megumi, and changing Kamino Megumi's name to avoid confusion proved it. She pulled Kamino Megumi over to the other girls, and they started chatting, waiting for Nangong Yan to return. Knock, knock, knock. Nangong Yan knocked on Sajiri's door, and after a moment, she peeked out. "Brother, what's up?" Sajiri asked, puzzled. "Your classmate, your class representative, is here to see you. Wanna meet her, Sajiri?" Nangong Yan got straight to the point. "Nope," Sajiri said, without hesitation. She didn't want to see anyone, but Nangong Yan just chuckled. "Sajiri, how about I give you some advice?" "Huh? You're always looking for models for your drawings, right?" Sajiri's eyes lit up. "Your class representative is a very cute girl, which is exactly what you're looking for, right?" The seductive whispers did the trick. Seeing Sajiri's expression change, Nangong Yan knew she was hooked. Actually, he didn't even need to be that persuasive. With Sajiri's, artistic tendencies, all he had to say was cute girl, and she'd find a way to make her a model. "Brother, I need." Sajiri whispered her request into Nangong Yan's ear. Nangong Yan gave her a thumbs up, sighing inwardly. Kamino K was totally walking into a trap. Blindfolded and at Sajiri's mercy, that's gotta be rough, a psychological nightmare. But hey, didn't you just lead the little lamb Kame no Megumi straight to the big bad wolf Sajiri? What are you sighing about? Oblivious, Nangong Yan rummaged around, found the necessary tools, and went to call for help. A few minutes later, Nangong Yan led a girl with her eyes covered and her hands tied to Sajiri's door. Chapter 56. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Whoa, dude, this is... Kame no Megumi stammered. Hey. Looking good. Shall we could rock a potato sack and still look amazing. Nangong Yan said, trying to distract her. Wait a minute. Right? Hold on. Why did it have to come to this? She suddenly realized. Because Sajiri's more innocent. Wanna bail? I can still let you off the hook, Nangong Yan said with a grin. No way. Kame no Megumi didn't hesitate this time. We're already here. I'm not backing down. I'm gonna be friends with Sajiri-chan. Alright. Nangong Yan knocked on Sajiri's door. Sajiri, I brought someone over. Sajiri quietly opened the door, her eyes lighting up when she saw Kame no Megumi. She grabbed her hand and said, come on in. Was that what you did to me last time? A dark voice hissed behind Nangong Yan, instantly raising goosebumps on his arms. Nangong Yan turned around, flashing a cheerful smile. Yo! Arari! What's up? Seeing his grin, Arari snapped, of course I'm here. I wanna see you con people. Don't be like that. Nangong Yan protested. I'm making everyone happy here. Oh. Arari gave him a look that said, yeah right. Look, shall we wants to be friends with Sajiri, right? Sajiri wants a model, right? This kills two birds with one stone. Everyone wins. Nangong Yan kept rattling off the benefits. Arari just curled her lip. Whatever. It's just drawing. Nangong Yan threw his hands up. Exactly. Sajiri wants to improve, but she doesn't want to just rely on her imagination. She needs models, but. Arari's secretly enjoying this, right? Why else wouldn't she stop it? Nangong Yan tentatively asked, wanna come in and watch? Arari's eyes lit up. Really? Sure. You're basically in already, anyway. The two walked inside, but Sajiri didn't even notice. She was completely focused on her drawing. Sajiri-chan? Hello? Anyone home? Is this some kind of punishment thing? Nangong Yan answered for her. Sajiri's in the zone. No time for distractions. Figures. Teacher Eromanga is the perfect name, Arari grumbled. Whoa. I'm getting weird vibes here. And Sajiri-chan's stare, it's intense. Kame no Megumi said, feeling uneasy after Arari's comment, and catching Sajiri's gaze. Nangong Yan smirked. What, can't handle the heat? Everyone in your class is your friend, a look like that is nothing, right? There are always people who look like that. Yeah, no. Look, you're trying to act like you know everything. Kame no Megumi, blushing, retorted, no, that's not it. I meant what I said. Arari watched Kame no K show off and twisted Nangong Yan's arm hard. Nangong Yan gasped. He stopped flirting and rubbed the pinched area. Suddenly, he felt that the air was solid. Got it. Such cute stripes. Sajiri said happily, what's happening, Nangong Yan's eyes widened, and Arari's voice rang in his ears. Nobody look. After a long, tense silence, Kame no Megumi let out a high-pitched scream. Meow meow. The scream attracted everyone else. Kasumigakaka Shiyu asked Diary, who was covering Nangong Yan's eyes, Sawamura-san, what happened? What was that scream? Here. Iriri motioned them to look inside the room. The girl was sobbing, Sajiri looked confused, and a cloth in her hand. So cute. Hearing what Mashiro said, Kamino Megumi cried even harder. Everyone was speechless. Mashiro can conquer everything. Well, Mashiro-chan, maybe not the best time to say that, Kato Megumi advised Mashiro. Mashiro looked at her, puzzled. Isn't it cute? Kato Megumi said stiffly, the point isn't whether it's cute, but, how to get Xiaomei to stop crying. Is there no way? Comforting? It would be best for Sajiri-chan to do something, right? Kato Megumi was a little unsure. Sajiri said anxiously, it seems very bad, but I still can't restrain my hands. Lily, it is indeed Mr. Eromanga. Mashiro silently moved behind Kamino Megumi and awkwardly patted her head. Good girl. I'll pat your head. Good girl, don't cry. Everyone stared in amazement. They didn't think that Mashiro would immediately put into practice the comfort that Kato Megumi said. She is indeed making progress, just like Sajiri, changing herself bit by bit. Erori's eyes were glued to the scene. The hand covering Nangong Yan's eyes had slipped. Nangong Yan looked at Mashiro and smiled happily. Mashiro had made a move, and Sajiri couldn't stand by. He slowly stepped forward and released her behind his eyes. He lowered his head and said, I'm sorry. With tears in her eyes, Kamino Megumi looked at Sajiri blankly, then smiled brightly and said, You can talk now. Even if I see you directly, can't I still talk to you well? Sajiri replied, slightly unnaturally, actually, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. Megumi Kamino wiped away her tears, I forgive you. Are we already friends? Sajiri didn't give any face at all. No. How excessive. But you have forgiven me. Sajiri muttered softly. Yes. But don't you have anything else to say? Sajiri looked away from her and tapped her index fingers. Thank you for the hospitality. Megumi Kamino was furious, that's really a poor reception. Hateful. Nangong Yan couldn't help but laugh. Several people watched Sajiri and Kamino coming and going. They greeted Mashiro and then silently walked out of Sajiri's room. Outside, Nangong Yan said with emotion, This is Sajiri. Make friends of your own age for the first time. Lily asked doubtfully, Is this considered a friend? Nangong Yan smiled and asked, Have you ever seen Suguru say so many things to others? However, this little guy Megumi Kamino will definitely be eaten to death by Sajiri, right? Xia Jicho Shiyu added, Nangong Yan thought of the plot just now. Maybe, this is really the case. Chapter 57. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After Kamino Megumi came over with a couple of books, Nangong Yan asked, So, how'd it go? Mission accomplished. Megumi grinned. Sajiri-chan won't admit it, but I think we're totally friends now. And look, she even lent me these books. I'm gonna study them and figure out exactly what Sajiri-chan's into. Nailed it, Nangong Yan thought to himself. Moving into the house, one step at a time. Hey, is your fat kid coming back anytime soon? Nangong Yan asked. Out of the blue. Megumi's face flushed. Clenching her fists, she snapped, Come on, dude. Don't ask stuff like that. Suddenly, Megumi's expression changed. Wait a sec. Could it be? Has my big bro finally fallen for me? She said, practically glowing. Well, what can you do? I guess I'll forgive you, big brother. What is it about me that drives guys wild? Lily, who'd been about to tell Nangong Yan to lay off, stopped dead in her tracks. She exchanged a dark look with the others. This girl was next-level narcissistic. Nangong Yan played along. Yeah, I'm totally obsessed with you. Right? Megumi said, as if she expected nothing less. Kasumigakaka Shiyu looked like she was settling in to watch a train wreck. How about you stay over tonight? Nangong Yan asked. Sure. Megumi chirped, then paused. Wait, what did you just say? Maybe you misheard me. You said. You heard me, Nangong Yan confirmed. Okay. Megumi grabbed her school bag, shoved in Sajiri's books, and bolted, yelling as she ran. Something came up. Gotta go. See ya, big bro. Nangong Yan chased after her a few steps. Seriously? You're not gonna stay? Megumi ran even faster. At least grab some dinner before you go. She was already gone. Nangong Yan rubbed his chin, smirking. Hee, you're too green to play with me, kid. He turned to see all the girls staring at him with amusement. Kasumigakaka Shiyu drawled, I don't know what sins that poor girl committed to deserve meeting you and Sajiri. Hey, don't make us sound like natural disasters, alright? Nangong Yan protested. And even if I do mess with her a little, you and Ning Lily are always ready to step in, right? That was a question, but the meaning was clear. Those two would definitely give Kaminoke a hard time. Nangong Yan figured he was doing her a solid by giving her a heads up. Kasumigakaka Shiyu smiled. I'm flattered you know me so well, Yen-kun. Ugh, don't lump me in with her. Ing Lily said, annoyed. Why did she always have to be grouped with Kasumigakaka Shiyu? Oh. Would Sawamura-san, who's always striving to be the best, really not do anything? Would you let a junior high student show you up, especially? Kasumigakaka Shiyu whispered in her ear, in front of Mr. Yen. Irie's face turned red, and she shut her mouth. She couldn't deny it. Alright, knock it off. Let's get back to work. We need to finish this game ASAP. What could they do when the club president spoke? Everyone headed towards the activity room. Time passed after school the next day. Nangong Yan handed a key he'd had ready to Kato Megumi. May, you can head home today. I need to go pick up Nanami. Kato Megumi didn't take it. Are you sure? Giving someone else a key to your place? Megumi's not just someone else. Before Kato Megumi could argue, Nangong Yan pressed the key into her hand. Okay. Gotta run. Kato Megumi watched Nangong Yan walk away, clenching the key. Her expression didn't change, but the blush on her ears showed she was flustered. She quickly regained her composure. As if you only gave a key to me. Nangong Yan got to Suimei University High School to find Nanami and Mashiro already waiting outside. The two of them were chatting. Nanami was doing most of the talking, and Mashiro was listening. However, Mashiro would occasionally make Nanami speechless with a well-placed comment. Hamura, Mashiro said. Mashiro spotted Nangong Yan first. Hearing this, Nanami turned around and said, Yen-kun, thanks for doing this. No problem. I wish you'd ask for my help more often. But will you give me a chance? Nangong Yan said with a smile, then greeted Mashiro. Nanami blushed slightly, looking shy and a little embarrassed. Let's go help with your luggage. I'm guessing you don't have much more than what's in that box. The moving company is probably on its way. It's not a good look to have them going into the girls' dorm, so Nangong Yan would just do it for them. Oh, you don't have to, Yen-kun. I can just bring a little each day. She quickly stopped Nangong Yan. No way was she letting him go into the girls' dorm. Nangong Yan pretended to be distressed. But the movers are coming soon. I can't let them drive all the way out here for nothing, can I? Huh? Nanami was taken aback. Why are we calling a moving company? And you didn't even tell me. I figured you'd have tons of stuff, so I called them. Well, tell them to forget it. Nanami said urgently. Can't do that. I made the appointment yesterday, and they've already scheduled it, Nangong Yan said. It was as good as telling her, don't even try to argue, the moving company is a done deal. Besides, think of it as an employee perk. It's a housing allowance, so just accept it, no worries. Nanami's shoulders slumped. She knew there was no stopping Nangong Yan. So, let's get all your stuff out here quick. Nangong Yan said, heading for the dorm. Wait. Nanami yelled, her face flushed, and she stepped in front of him. I can do it myself. I packed everything yesterday. I just need to make a couple trips. Nangong Yan. Seriously? You're that prepared? I was hoping to get a peek inside the girls' dorm, star. Okay, go ahead, Nangong Yan said, disappointed. He couldn't force his way in, so he had to give up. Nanami nodded and hurried into the dorm. Hamura, you're unhappy, Mashiro said. Suddenly, Nangong Yan was shocked. Was Mashiro really that perceptive? I just think Nanami's being a bit pushy. Okay, that's a lie. You just wanted to get into the girls' dorm, star. So, how do you like school? Afraid Mashiro would ask something he couldn't answer, Nangong Yan quickly changed the subject. It's nice having Nanami here, Mashiro nodded. It seemed Mashiro and Nanami were getting along well. Nanami came out with 2 boxes and walked back immediately. Mashiro poked Nangong Yan. Yan, I'm going to help. Yeah, go ahead. You should help your friends, and Nanami won't be able to say no to you, Nangong Yan said, patting Mashiro's head. Watching the pure white girl's back, Nangong Yan said to himself, looks like Mashiro will almost be on par with other normal people in terms of common sense. Plus, with Mashiro's innocent charm, if she helped Nanami, Nanami probably wouldn't have a choice, right? Chapter 58. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Whoa, Mr. Yen, is this your place? Chihai was blown away by the size of the Nangong estate. Yep. Nangong Yan nodded, opened the door, and told the movers to set Chihai's luggage in the entryway. Chihai started to follow him, thinking, fine by me. After all, it's mine now, if Nangong Yan hadn't pulled this whole kill him with kindness routine, she wouldn't have accepted his generosity so easily. But Nangong Yan stopped her. Nanami, listen, just grab what's most important to you. Chihai, seeing Nangong Yan's serious expression, agreed and clutched a tiger-shaped plush pillow named Torajiro to her chest. Nangong Yan, picking up Yang, who had wandered outside, asked with a grin, so that's what's most important to Nanami. I figured it'd be, like, voice acting textbooks or something. Nanami blushed. Torajiro's my friend. Right, Nanami's always having conversations with Torajiro. Is that how voice actors practice? Nangong Yan thought, a vision of countless voice actors flashing through his head. Maybe, all voice actors have a buddy like that. Seeing Chihai gazing at the plushie with sparkling eyes, Nangong Yan introduced Yang with a smile. Chihai, this little one's part of the family too. Her name's Yang. You two need to get along. Chihai nodded enthusiastically. After all, she was a total cat person. And tigers were basically just big cats, right? While Chihai was trying to bond with Yang, all her stuff had been moved inside, and one of the movers came over to settle the bill with Nangong Yan. Thanks for the business, boss. Hope we can help you out again in the future. I appreciate it, thanks for your hard work, Nangong Yan replied politely. No problem. See ya. What a ray of sunshine. Kato Megumi peeked out. Hamaki, is that all of Nanami-chan's luggage? Nangong Yan, yep, that's it. Okay, let's help Nanami-chan get settled. By the way, are Nanami-chan and Mashiro sharing a room? Kato Megumi finally asked. Nangong Yan didn't answer. Instead, he looked at Nanami. Nanami, when I invited you, I said you and Mashiro would share, but I thought that might be tough on you both. Especially with your voice acting practice. So, you're saying I can have my own room? Nanami quickly shook her head. No, I'll share with Mashiro. I promise to look after her, and it's for the best. And I can practice my voice acting somewhere else, it's no biggie. I know Yen-kun's already gone above and beyond for me. If I was even more of a mooch and asked for my own room, I'd hate myself. Her thoughts were plastered all over her face. Nangong Yan saw it, so he didn't push it. He turned to Kato Megumi. Nanami and Mashiro are sharing. Mashiro grabbed Nanami's hand. Nanami, welcome. Tears welled up in Nanami's eyes. Thank you. Really? You guys get to it. I'm gonna start prepping for the welcome party. Whenever someone new moved in, Nangong Yan always made sure to throw a feast. It had become a tradition, and everyone looked forward to his cooking. Plus, to celebrate Mashiro's progress, Nangong Yan decided to make something extra special, pineapple bread. Finish what you're doing first, then come help me. Nangong Yan said, stopping Kato Megumi and Nanami, who were both about to lend a hand. Nanami was surprised. Even though she knew Nangong Yan and Kato Megumi took care of everyone, she was still shocked that Nangong Yan was doing the cooking. Nanami whispered to Kato Megumi, "Megumi, why is it Mr. Yan?" Huh? What? Kato Megumi didn't follow. I mean, is it okay for Yen-kun to be cooking? Kato Megumi looked even more puzzled. Nanami-chan, why would you ask that? Speaking of which, have you ever eaten Hamura-kun's bento? Wait, that bento was made by Hamura himself. I just thought someone else made it. I didn't know Mr. Yen did. Then, sheepishly, she added, besides, I was so starving at the time, I felt like anything would taste good, so, he. Kato Megumi. So, you don't remember how it tasted? Kato Megumi summarized for her. Pretty much. She nodded awkwardly and hung her head. Kato Megumi reassured her, it's okay, you'll get to try it today. For me, I've never had anything better than what Yen-kun cooks. I'm just a regular person, so maybe fancy chefs make better stuff, but I don't care. It's enough to eat food made by Yen-kun. Kato Megumi said calmly, but Nanami could sense the sincerity in her words. Now Nanami was really excited for dinner. Let's give a big, warm welcome to Nanami Aoyama to our little group. Nangong Yan, acting as the leader, raised his glass. Cheers. Everyone clinked their juice glasses together. We're getting stronger and stronger as a team. Nangong Yan said with a sigh. Yeah, Xia Jicho Shiyu said, then asked Nangong Yan a question. Speaking of, Mr. Yen, can you clear something up for me? Nangong Yan suddenly felt uneasy. What's up? Kasumigakaka Shiyu looked around, her smile widening. In our little world, it seems like there are more and more girls. Like a cold breeze, everyone went silent. Not everyone was staring at Nangong Yan, but everyone was all ears. Now that you mention it, yeah. Nangong Yan said, pretending to just realize. The girls waited for his explanation. Yeah, why are they all girls? Why? Nangong Yan repeated, his brain going a mile a minute. Bottom line, the boys are too weak. Nangong Yan slapped his hand on the table, sounding annoyed, as if he truly thought the boys were a disgrace. Where'd you get that idea? Xia Jicho Shiyu asked, playing along. Anyone would think she was trying to defend Nangong Yan. Think about it. Besides me, are there any other guys in our school who are good enough to join our group? It sounded like he had it all figured out. He really didn't. Oh, that's right, girls these days are incredible. Nangong Yan said, sounding impressed. So, it's not just that all the members are girls, it's that other guys just can't keep up. So what you're saying is that our group is really just a Gen Z club? Xia Jicho Shiyu raised an eyebrow. You want me to find some old dude to join? Nangong Yan countered. An old dude? Pass. Xia Jicho Shiyu rolled her eyes. What about Shueigao? I'm not involved with Shueigao at all. Nangong Yan shrugged. Do you know any guys over there who could actually contribute to our group? Xia Jicho Shiyu. Women. Chapter 59. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How did they even know each other? All the girls wondered the same thing. The truth was, even if Shueigao had some amazing guys, Nanami wouldn't meet them in the general studies department, and Mashiro, being who she is, wouldn't be the type to seek them out. Nangong Yan was confident in what he'd said, and the girls knew he was doing it on purpose. Even if someone matched his description, he'd find another excuse, but, since they liked Nangong Yan, they let it slide. The thought of bringing in other guys made them uneasy. So, Kasumigakaka Shiyu's attempt to reign in Nangong Yan ended in his favor. Can we eat it? Mashiro asked, her eyes glued to the ultimate pineapple bread. Nangong Yan chuckled. Let's dig in. Mashiro took a bite of the ultimate pineapple bread. Her eyes narrowed slightly, her expression mirroring Yang's when she was enjoying her food. She looked completely content. What is this? It's incredible. Chihai exclaimed, covering her mouth in amazement. She'd never tasted anything so delicious. Nangong Yan smiled. If you like it, have more. There's plenty. The king asked me to patrol the mountain. Nangong Yan's phone rang again, he glanced at it and gestured for everyone to keep eating. He stepped back a few paces and answered. Hello. Ayano, what's up? Are you partying? I hear a lot of girls' voices, Ayano asked, cutting straight to the chase. Nangong Yan sighed inwardly. I'm at home. It's just a little welcome thing for the new members of my club. Speaking of which, Hamura, I don't think I ever asked, are there only girls in your club? After a moment of silence, Ida, Ayano asked, sounding a bit awkward. Nangong Yan countered, am I not a guy? I'm serious. You said you had a club and a project that's almost done, but it's all girls. Are you for real? Nangong Yan knew what she was getting at. She was worried his club was just an excuse. He decided to be upfront. I'll put it this way, my members are top tier. Ayano, okay, spill. First, there's Ms. Kasumigakaka Shiyu. Hold on. Ayano interrupted. Ms. Kasumigakaka Shiyu? The metronome of love? That's right. Next is Ms. Miles Kashiwagi. Wait a sec. Nangong Yan finished her thought, that's right. And then there's Mr. Aromanga. Ayano paused. Nangong Yan asked, puzzled. Why didn't you interrupt me? I'm waiting until you're done so we can freak out together. Is there any saving this situation? Nangong Yan scratched his head. Okay, then there's Ms. Shina Mashiro. Hold up. You promised you wouldn't interrupt. Ayano's shocked voice came through the phone. Did I hear that right? Are you serious? Mashiro Shina. You know Mashiro too, huh? She came back to draw comics. You think I'd let her slip away? Nangong Yan said playfully. You. I knew Mashiro was back and I was going to get in touch, but I hear about it from you. Ayano said, annoyed. But, I'll admit, if you're guiding her, Mashiro's problems with plot will definitely be solved. Nangong Yan confirmed, yep, that's why I invited her to join my club. She's working on the artwork for a big comic for us. Oh. I gotta see that tomorrow, Ayano said, her tone now cheerful. Nangong Yan raised an eyebrow. You're coming tomorrow? Could it be, the promised Neverland? No fun, you guessed it right away, Ayano said, sounding disappointed. Yeah, I'll sign the contract with you tomorrow, and I'll tell you some good news, too. By the way, you don't happen to have any teachers that could blow my mind, do you? Just as Nangong Yan was about to ask about the good news, Ayano cut him off and ran with it. She chuckled. Of course I do. The one and only, cartoonist, Mr. Nangong. Ayano's pause lingered. That's a stretch. But I gotta admire your shamelessness. Alright. You can get back to your welcome party. See you tomorrow. Ayano hung up. Nangong Yan was speechless. What? Mr. Nangong doesn't impress you? That's it? He shook his head, laughed, and returned to his seat. After dinner, and after everyone had finished their respective tasks, Nangong Yan went to the yard for his daily exercise, including a boxing session. He carried Yan, who had just finished sharpening her claws on the cat-scratching post, back to his room, feeling like he hadn't checked his status in days. Nangong Yan opened the system. Character name, Nangong Yan, level, 9, 530/900. Identity, student, cartoonist, title, new cartoonist, the attractiveness of comic works increases by 1%. Life skills. Programming LV6 LV7, piano LV3 LV4, guitar LV3 LV4, choreography LV1 LV3, reasoning LV1 LV2, skill points, 5, main tasks, increase in sales of Mankey Weekly, task description, at a time when the sales of Mankey Weekly are declining, use your comics to inject fresh vitality into it. Mission objective, increase the sales of Animation Weekly within 1 week, task status, not completed, task reward, unknown, evaluated based on task completion, pet name, Yang, level, 1617. Whoa! Things have changed a lot. First off, he's now officially a cartoonist. That was not a surprise, and it was natural to have an additional title, but this title has a good effect. Even though it's only 1%, comics never lack readers, and 1% is still a lot when the base is large. Then there are the skills that have changed the most, all of which were automatically upgraded without Nangong Yan taking the initiative to add points. The most advanced and only skill brought by his previous life is programming, which is already LV7. No wonder he feels like he has gained a new understanding of programming in the past 2 days. It turns out he has upgraded. But how to upgrade other skills? Nangong Yan thought silently. Analysis and reasoning should be its upgrade method. Other reasons for skill upgrades. After a picture flashed through Nangong Yan's mind, Nangong Yan finally pulled up a picture. It was the night when Nangong Yan sent Kato Megumi and his 3 daughters home. He added Tai Chi to it. Go to the LV6 screen. Therefore, the upgrade of piano, guitar and choreography is probably due to the enhanced body control and improved coordination caused by Tai Chi. Didn't expect such benefits. Nangong Yan was deeply surprised, but he laughed happily. Although this system did not have elves, it was not as rigid as he imagined. There were actually links between skills. Maybe, no, definitely. There must be something wonderful about the system that Nangong Yan hasn't discovered yet. Chapter 60. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day, on the way home from school after shopping with Eruri and the others, Nangong Yan spotted Nanami and Mashiro waiting outside his place. He smacked his forehead. Shoot! I knew I was forgetting something. My bad. That once everyone was inside, Nangong Yan pulled out the set of spare keys. Sorry, I got swamped yesterday and totally spaced. Here are your keys. Eruri's eyes darted around. Huh? Really? I figured it was just for Megumi. Megumi just offered a simple. She knew deep down she wouldn't be the only one getting a key to Nangong's house. She just hadn't felt the need to remind him when he forgot. Why did those words sting? Was Eruri jealous? She must be, right? He held out the keys. So, anyone want one? Idiot. Just hand them out, Eruri thought, snatching a key. Duh, arrogant Sundra, Nangong Yan thought, fighting back a smile as he passed out another key. Kasumigakaka Shiyu took hers with grace. As he gave it to her, he felt a slight scratch on his palm. He glanced at her, but she showed no reaction at all. Could it have been accidental? Next up was Nanami. He handed her a key, and she pointed at herself, surprised. For me? Really? But we barely know each other, right? Are you sure it's okay to trust me with something like this? Nangong Yan smiled. We're teammates now, aren't we? More like friends, right? Well. Nanami seemed hesitant. Come on. You and Mashiro don't go to the same school as us. You're supposed to wait for us to get back every day before you can even get inside. Nangong Yan practically forced the key into her hand. Just take it, Eruri muttered under her breath. Why didn't you force my key on me? Megumi just gave her a sidelong look. With Nanami settled, Mashiro just stared at him, her thoughts plain on her face. He was holding out on her. Nangong Yan teased, how about Mashiro and Nanami share one? The other girls watched, eager to see Mashiro's reaction. she didn't disappoint. Mashiro immediately looked away, like he was causing her pain. Nangong Yan quickly relented. Mashiro, I'm kidding. Of course I'm giving you one. That he handed her the key, and her mood visibly brightened. Asterisk she's so easy to read. Asterisk the others smiled as Chihai patted her head. Ding dong. The doorbell rang. Nangong Yan grinned at the girls. That must be my editor. Nanami tilted her head. Editor? What editor? Nangong Yan was already at the door. I'll be right back. After he answered the door, Megumi explained, he's Yen Kuen's manga editor. We haven't met him yet. Manga? Nanami exclaimed. Not a game. Did I mishear something? Guess Nangong didn't have a chance to tell you, Erori chimed in. The game is a group project. The manga is his solo work. Wow, Nanami murmured, impressed. Yeah. Kasumigakaka Shiyu added, he seems to know everything, and he's really skilled. It's shocking, sometimes. Hamura is teaching me comics, Mashiro volunteered. Huh. Mashiro's already a painter. Why would she need Hamura-kun to teach her? Nanami was blown away. Erori explained, a little awkwardly, no one needs to teach Mashiro how to draw, but comics need storytelling. Mashiro's storytelling, well, it's basically non-existent. Mashiro looked downcast. She knew Erori was right, and she was working on it. I see. Yo. What's up, Mashiro? Ayano came in, greeting Mashiro. Ayano, long time no see. It was obvious from their interaction that they were close. Ayano, should I introduce everyone? Nangong Yan asked, motioning toward Mashiro, Shiyu, and Erori. No need. Ayano stepped forward, introducing herself to Erori and Shiyu. Kasumigakaka Shiyu-sensei, Kashiwagi Erori-sensei, hello. I'm Ida Ayano, Hamura's manga editor. Oh, and I'm also Mashiro's editor. Everyone was a bit taken aback by that last part, but Erori was the first to react. How did you know that name? She glared at Nangong Yan with suspicion. Was it you? Nangong Yan quickly denied it. No way. Not me. You better explain. Nangong Yan pleaded to Ayano. Ha ha ha. Ayano wasn't entirely sure what was going on, but she was happy to play along. It was like something out of a manga, perfect for an editor's sensibilities. So that's Kashiwagi Erori-sensei's pen name. Anyone in the industry could find that out pretty easily. The only ones who wouldn't know are the readers, Ayano said with a smile. Erori slumped like a deflated balloon. Is that so? I thought I was being so clever. Her face crumpled. Oh man. Everyone knows. I'm so embarrassed. Just let me die. She tried to run, but Nangong Yan grabbed her and held her tight, not letting her escape. Huh? Why'd you get so quiet all of a sudden? Nangong Yan asked, surprised. Erori wasn't even struggling. The other girls watched the scene with different expressions. Mashiro was as unfazed as ever. Nanami was red-faced and confused. Megumi looked momentarily annoyed, then resigned. Kasumigakaka Shiyu frowned and tapped her foot impatiently. Ayano, the instigator, wore a mischievous grin. Erori, meanwhile, was beet red, her face buried in Nangong Yan's neck. Steam seemed to be coming off her head, and the corners of her mouth were turned up in a slight smile. Nangong Yan couldn't see her face, but everyone else could. Let her go. Kasumigakaka Shiyu had reached her limit.